top. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anza Sakib on CxO Global TV. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge sharing platform for all C levels across Pakistan and the globe, and we take massive pride in contributing to the knowledge economy. Every time we've got some very special guests who have essentially made their mark in the relevant industry that they're in. They've learned alongside their journey, and they've put together a lot of knowledge that they'd like to disseminate with all of you. Today as well, we've got a very special guest with us. He's Mr. Waleed Tariq Mughal from Park Motor, and we welcome him to the show. How are you, Waleed?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for taking out time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Waleed, at CxO Global Forum, obviously, young budding founders and CEOs like yourself, they're a source of inspiration for us because obviously they're different from the league that we have of FMCGs and MNCs, but essentially you, like many others, have made it big at a young age, and that in itself is an inspiring thing. However, how was your journey? How did your journey lead you to where you are today? Where did you start? Where did you go to school? What courses did you study?
Okay, well, I have done my studies from Karachi mostly, and I did my university from Lahore. I've studied from LSE, and throughout my journey of this educational life, I've kept business subjects because probably because my family was a business family, and I never had that thing in my mind that I have to go towards a job. It was always about business. And since a very young age, I was very passionate about cars, very into them. So back in 2009, when I was in, first year of my university, I started a project on the side while studying that went by the name of World Team Machines. So what we used to do was, at that particular time, there were no major players in Pakistan regarding, that dealt in modification stuff of the vehicles.
Yeah.
So we started importing the Chinese stuff. We used to import it by air, and then we used to sell it off. And we made quite a name for ourselves and a place in the the community, the motorsports community in Pakistan. So in 2015, we dismantled the project. I took my exit from it, and in 2016, I started preparing. Thinking that there are so many markets across Pakistan that normal people don't actually have access to. There are very specific markets that people go to, but a lot of the markets are the ones where hardly 5% of the people they approach those markets. So I decided that to bring all these markets together, and that's where Park Motor was actually born. The idea of Park Motor was born. And
my next question to you obviously was how was this idea of Park Motor conceptualized? And now that you said it was your pure passion for motorsports in Pakistan, why this particular name? What was the concept behind it? And what are you doing differently from the other online stores?
Okay. The initial idea of the platform was to just come up with an auto online shop. But then, with the passage of time, we refined it and we decided that instead we're going to go towards the marketplace model, and we're going to connect all the auto markets that are, spread across all the major cities of Pakistan, and we're going to bring them on one platform so people can access all the markets, previously which they didn't have access to. So the first name that we actually thought of was the Autodoc.
The Autodoc.
The Autodoc. So, but the thing that we realized was that the audience that we have, the Pakistani audience, Autodoc was a name that didn't really suit much, considering the fact that the psyche behind a business name should always be that it should always be on the tongues of everyone, not just the educated class. So we took a few things and we started brainstorming a lot of ideas, and then we decided to actually break down the name of the company into two portions. One was Park, and that came from Pakistan. The other was Moto. Moto, it's basically a German word that incorporates the entire auto industry in itself.
Yeah.
So Pak Motor basically means the automotive industry of Pakistan.
Oh wow, lovely.
Yeah.
What a bright idea. However, you spoke about bringing ease of access to people. My question to you is how receptive do you think the audience is in general? Because, I'm really into motorsports and car modifications as well. And oftentimes what happens is that we want to actually physically go and inspect stuff. So if you want to look at rims, for example,
Yeah.
you want to go to a physical showroom or, display center and look at those things. Where did you feel the need to put everything online and why?
Okay. Well, there is this challenge in this industry that a lot of people they physically want to visit the shop and they have to look at the stuff just for the personal satisfaction.
Yeah.
And that's one challenge actually to this auto industry going online as well. But when you actually whenever you physically visit the shops, you realize that you're limiting yourself in terms of variety. You can't just go around and visit 100 shops, right?
Right.
You can visit 10 shops a day and then you're gonna call the day off. So that was one thing that we realized. Plus, back when I was doing this project, World Team Machines, I had my target audience, my clientele was mostly from Karachi. So
Right.
a lot of people I realized didn't have access to parts which were actually available in the other cities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Plus, bringing everything online makes it easier for the client. If I talk about from the customer's perspective, you go to the market you're gonna try out few shops. You're gonna find out the rates, and then you're gonna buy the stuff that suits you in terms of price most. Majority of our people in the auto purchasing are like that. So that's one thing that we decided that if we are gonna bring all the markets on one platform, and then let's say if you want a headlight for your car, that headlight in Pakistan is available across many shops.
Many vendors, right?
So you can't just go on and visit all the shops to find out which shop is actually giving you the best price and the best quality.
Can you also do like price comparisons and everything, or maybe because that's one thing that I appreciated with international websites, because you can just select different vendors and see, or is that part of the branch that part of the features that you want to launch on your web page?
Yeah, it's not currently on the website as in the comparison that you select the multiple products and then you compare them, but it's a holistic view of the entire inventory of a specific car and then the specific category that you want, and then you can look at which product is being offered by which vendor and what price is being offered to you. So right now we have that view of the comparison, but down the road we will definitely be putting.
Yeah. But hats off to you for just even cataloging everything together. And I've personally seen the website. A good friend of mine, Bilal Mumtaz, he's also a member of ours, and he was really showing me the whole interface. And I feel like you've put in a lot of thought into the user experience end of things, because when I was trying to browse it, even on my cell phone, it's pretty seamless. And so did you put a lot of thought into the fact that when you were designing the website, it had to be user-friendly?
The one thing that I had in my mind was that I don't want to, I never wanted to create a website that was just mainstream. Like every other website you have, they all have the same level of structure, the same way that you start your journey on the platform and then you go on about it. So I had to do something different. So that's the reason why I believe we came up with around 7 to 8 different versions of designs, after which we went with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure, plus having the idea that every single person should be should find it easy to reach the final product that he or she is looking for. So that's
Right.
why we have categorized it by cars and then the categories and language and so on.
All right, so moving a little towards your whole personality and the goals and stuff that you have in mind, I wanted to ask you in particular, you were a graduate of LSE in Lahore, and a lot of people who study there, they aspire to rather, start working for an FMCG or an
Yeah.
MNC and so on and so forth, because it's just like one of those popular business schools.
Yeah.
And that's really the dream that most graduates there have.
Yes.
Why did you move towards entrepreneurship?
Well, like I said in the beginning, that I always had this, because belonging to a business family, I always had to had this thought at the back of my head that I always I have to get into business. I won't be going towards a job. So I always had that mindset since my childhood, I believe. And plus, I did not choose to go for the family business. I always wanted to do uh, something in the industry that I hold passion for, and
Right.
the auto industry was the one that I held passion for since my childhood.
So if you think that to become a successful entrepreneur, young successful entrepreneur in this country, you need to have passion for the relevant field.
Definitely.
What are the two other main key ingredients that you need?
Uh, Number one, as you said, is passion, because that that ignites you, that
Mhm.
makes you move forward. Uh, the other two things that I believe are network. It's very important, because I don't think without having that appropriate network of 6 years that I had prior to starting Park Motor would if I didn't have that network, I don't think I would have been able to bring Park Motor to where it is right now. And third is having the appropriate knowledge, which means having the proper advisors and mentors who can guide you towards the journey. Because down here in Pakistan, in our universities, you are not taught like that. You're not taught about entrepreneurship. You're not taught about the capital raising, the venture capitals, and all that. So you have to learn either by working for a startup or having the right mentors and advisors. So I think those are the right ingredients.
Absolutely, and at CxO Global Forum, ladies and gentlemen, we've invested now heavily into industry academia linkages. So you will be hearing more about that. That's where we found the gap. To be honest, a lot of young people, yes, universities provide very good academics, but experiential learning, that's what's missing. And I'm so proud of the fact that you achieved something of your own, established your own brand. And you spoke about the right kind of mentorship. That's also very important. One more thing, how many failures did you have to face, and what did they essentially teach you?
Well, when I started Park Motor back it was in August 2016. Up to I guess October 2018, I was nowhere with Park Motor, because I didn't have that track that was required. Like I said, the advisors, the mentors, I didn't have them. So I had the experience of working in the auto industry. I was a part of the community since last 13 years. I had the network, but I just didn't have that knowledge, the knowledge about the entrepreneurship. And so I met my mentor, Bilal Mumtaz, who is also a co-founder of Sayed.com.
Yeah.
And
just a disclaimer, Bilal has nothing to do with this interview, but he is an inspiring young man. So yeah.
So after meeting him, having several discussion sessions, and we started, driving a path. And then I came across a new team. I dismantled the previous team because of the very same issue. And we came up with a new team, and that's where things started taking a turn. A good turn.
Great. Lastly, since you spoke about networking and the right kind of opportunities, what is your take on forums like ours, like CxO Global? What do you think is their importance?
Well, I think for the startup world, for the startups, especially down here in Pakistan, these forums are very important, because number one, they connect you, they give you another sort of network, the right network that you need, the network of entrepreneurs. Because there's always something that you can learn. Learning is a process that never stops. Second, it gives the startups the exposure that it requires to step up the ladder of success. So I believe that these forums like CxO Global are very very important, a very essential component of the startup community of Pakistan.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Waleed, for your
Pleasure
time.
having you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be seeing you once again next time with another special guest and an inspiring story. Thank you.
Okay, I hope